Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Benjamin Dixon Show. I am your host, Benjamin Dixon. It is Monday, February 1st, Iowa caucuses night. Tonight is the big night that the first night of any cast intentions of voting. The description for the Iowa caucuses is not casting a ballot, but it is standing in a section representing the candidate that you support. And so it's not the first ballot cast, but it definitely is a very, very significant night for which many people like myself have been waiting on. And so I want to thank the Progressive Army for being with me tonight. We have tonight joining us for the first time. She goes by the name Anoa, and I heard her yesterday on a radio show that we were both on at the same time, and I was just tremendously impressed by her analytical prowess. And I'm honored that she has been listening to my show. So one thing I do know, one thing that everybody I've ever brought on the show who's been a listener, one thing they've proven me is that we have some very smart people listening to the Benjamin Dixon Show, so much so that I can just grab them out of the audience and bring them on to participate. So thank you for joining me, Anoa. I have David Grossman. He's been here on a regular basis. He's my go-to guy on a lot of things, social media for the Progressive Army, so thank you for joining me. JP Rankin is in the house. He's not literally in his house. He is on the road, but he's joining me nonetheless. And JP Rankin is my go-to guy for all things Progressive Army. We'll be joined later on by about 3 more people as the caucuses pick up and take off. It is an early night for the Benjamin Dixon Show because we want to cover as much as we can about the Iowa caucuses. The first thing is first. Turnout is key. They've already shut the doors at all of the caucus locations, and so if you're not there already, then you missed the boat. If you're in Iowa and you're listening to me and you're not listening on your mobile device, then and you're listening at home, you've already missed the boat, so shame on you. They've already shut the doors, and they're going to begin the caucuses. So the first thing we're looking for is entrance polls. Entrance polls counter to exit polling that you see at regular locations. The entrance polls gives us an idea of who's showing up for what candidate. And so far, they're already projecting. We'll start bringing some graphics up online, and but they're projecting the turnout so far. Looks like it's going towards for the Republican caucuses, Donald Trump, Ted Cruz, and not Martin. What's the other guy? Marco. And I know it was MAR something. Marco Rubio. So they are in the lead so far based on the entrance polls. And of course, no surprises on the Democratic side. You have Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton, both in the front running for the entrance polls. One particular detail that was very interesting and I think very salient for some conversations that we'll have tonight is that turnout is key, but there are 2 candidates counting on a larger turnout, and then there are 2 candidates who are counting on a lower turnout. And I think this is very telling. It's very telling. Hillary Clinton is counting on a lower turnout. The lower the turnout, the better she will do. Ted Cruz is counting on a lower turnout. The lower the turnout, the better he'll do on the Republican side. Donald Trump and Bernie Sanders are both counting on larger turnouts. Now, I'm not one to conflate Bernie Sanders and Donald Trump, but it does say something to me that your candidacy depends on a lower turnout than a higher turnout. When your candidacy depends on, and the success of your candidacy depends on not having as many people as possible participate in our democratic process, that's just a red flag to me personally. I'm sorry, and I'm not saying anything positive of Donald Trump because, Donald Trump is Donald Trump, but still, it says something that he's going to be more successful if they have. Case in point, in 2008, when Martin, I keep going with Martin O'Malley. I don't know why Martin O'Malley is on my tongue tonight. Anyways, that was definitely a double entendre I didn't mean to fall over into. Don't make a soundbite of that one. But anyway, in 2008, Barack Obama had a record turnout of, let me pull up that number. I think he had a record turnout of 240,000. For instance, tonight, Hillary Clinton is counting on having a turnout of 170,000. that says a lot to me about the character of the campaign that you're running and the type of candidate that you are. I'm sorry. I don't think there's any other way to cut it. So before I start pontificating a whole bunch about my opinion on it, I'm going to open up the floor to Anoa, to David, to JP, and just give me some of your opening thoughts about what's going on in Iowa, about this turnout. The higher the turnout, the better it is for the anti-establishment candidates, and the lower the turnout, the better it is for the establishment candidates. So I'm going to go with Anoa first.